Hello and welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of the What I Bought in Prague series, because I forgot I also bought some stuff on the train station. Apparently GOT2B, you know, the famous sub-brand of Schwarzkopf, the hair brand, also has makeup now, and I didn't know. Apparently it's pretty new. I saw on their website they consider it new. I haven't seen it in the Netherlands. I don't really see it popping up on Instagram or YouTube or anywhere else, but I did have a pretty large supply of it at the train station in Germany when I went through Germany from Prague. So I decided to try some stuff out. It's pretty reasonably priced, so I saw no issue in trying out a couple of things. Everything looked nice and colorful and, I don't know, youthful, I guess. So the brand is apparently all about expressing your creativity, your youthfulness, and, well, what brand isn't, but this one is too. So I bought a sheer tint, like a sheer foundation. I have a Lolly Lips lipstick, which is very cute. I haven't tried any of these products, but it looks very cute. I have a dual-ended contour stick with a contour and a highlight. And I have this eyeshadow palette. They had quite nice eyeshadow palettes. I'm not sure about the formula, we'll have to try that out. But the color selection was really good. They had a couple of ones I wanted to try, but I thought this one was cute. And then I'm going to put this in this video as well. At Sephora in Prague, I also bought this Milk makeup blush stick in the shade Flip, and I couldn't try it in my last video, so we'll be trying it out today as well. I think it'll match everything else. So that's what we're doing in this video, and without further ado, let's get into it. I won't be able to do a proper wear test today since it's already 6 o'clock, but I'll leave a pinned comment or I'll put something in the description box, because I will wear this for about 5 or 6 hours at least, so I'll have something to say probably. If anyone wants me to do a proper review on this, I can, definitely. I just wanted to test it out today, because today I have time. So this is what the foundation looks like. I think it's an adorable bottle. I really like the pink with the mint green. I have mine in the shade 10 Ivory. I think this was the lightest one. And I did test it out on my hand and I think it was fine. I'm not sure about the range of the product though. There were about 10 or 12 shades, I think. So I think it was alright. It's just a regular squeegee tube. This is the foundation. Let's do a run test. I'd say it's a medium runny foundation. It does run a little bit, but it's not watery or anything. Alright, I'm using my foundation brush and I'm not using a primer, just to see what this looks like on its own. Alright, it's pretty sheer. Well, it does say it is, and I wanted something like that. I don't feel like you need a lot of product though. I'll do one half of my face and then we'll see if we can build it up maybe. See, I put a little bit too much on my forehead. It really spreads quite far. Alright, the color seems perfect actually. I do think this is a little bit dark for the lightest shade, because I'm not at my palest at the moment and I'm also not the palest person in the world. Though you might believe otherwise. But this is what it looks like. I actually think, now that I put stuff on my forehead as well, that the coverage is pretty decent. I'd say it's sort of a light medium. And maybe you can build it up. I feel like it's already drying down a little bit, which is nice. It's not super sticky or tacky or moist. I don't hate this at all. I actually quite like this. It has sort of a natural shine, which I don't think is going to go away completely, but we'll see in a little bit. Yeah, this looks pretty good. It's not flawless at all. I mean, I have these post blemish marks over here and, well, everywhere, and they're still visible, but my redness is sort of tamed down and my color is sort of uniformed, made equal. So let's put some on the other side of my face. I don't feel like it oxidizes at all. This is the new stuff and this is the old stuff. It looks the same. That's actually very nice. They did have quite a range of products, by the way. They did also have a more full coverage foundation. So I put a little bit less on this side of the face and I think it looks better. Here on my forehead, it looks like it's a little much. So I'm not going to try to build it up. I think this is what it would look like built up. And this is more of a light and this is more of a light medium coverage. Yeah, I prefer the lighter side. It also feels a little bit better. I'm really quite surprised by this foundation. I think it looks beautiful. It was about, I think it was €6.95. So that's really not bad at all. I don't have any concealer or powder, but I do have this stick. So we're going into this one now. Alright, 15 minutes later and the tape is off. I bought my, this is called the Twosome. I bought it in the shade medium because I thought the contour part of the light one really was about my skin tone, or maybe just a little bit darker. I didn't think it was significant enough of a difference. So be aware of that if you are ever in Germany. So this is the highlight side and it is a little bit dark for me, I think, but I wanted this mostly for the contour, so had to make sure that was dark enough. And this is the contour part. See, I think that's perfect for my skin tone, really. It was quite a jump between the contour shades of the two products. So this is pretty tiny, but we're going to see if it works. It's a very slippery formula. But I do like the fact that this applicator or this roll-up part is so small. You can do the nose quite easily that way. Okay, this looks kind of crazy. I'm taking my contour brush by Real Techniques and I'm going to try to blend this out. I do feel like it'll blend out quite easily because it was such a thin formula. And I think that's the case. And this shade is pretty good. See, this looks pretty harsh, but it blended out like this. And on camera it does look a little bit more harsh than in real life, I must say. So in person this looks pretty natural. Alright. I kind of like this. It's pretty cool toned. On my hand it looks kind of medium, neutral toned, but on my face it is pretty cool toned. I think that's alright. Blends out fairly easily. Yeah, I'm content with that. Of course the real test will be if this wears nicely. The Fenty one that I tried in my last video lasted really well. So that'll be the challenge for this one, but so far I'm not disappointed. I think this one was $6.95 as well for the two products. I am going to use just a little bit of concealer. I thought I would get away with not using any, but I think it looks weird. So I'm just using a little bit of my Too Faced Born This Way concealer just underneath my eyes. See, it looks a little bit better. It may look a little bit extreme, but I think when everything, the eyeshadow and stuff is in place, it'll look better. So now let's go into the little milk stick. This is a mini. And I did try this once already and I thought it was beautiful and it wore really well. The thing is, I did see this happen with a lot of people, that mine is broken in the middle, but that's so usable. So I'm just putting on a little bit like this. And I thought it looked kind of scary the first time, but it all blended out fine. So I will trust the process. See, that blended out really easily. And I am going to put some powder down afterwards, so it won't be this scary dark anymore. Looks kind of crazy. And then finally we have the highlight stick. Oh god, this is really quite a lot. I can't look at this. I have to tame this down just a little bit. That's better. I just couldn't take myself seriously. Alright, like I said, let's go into the highlighting stick. I think this brand is quite a lot of fun actually. It's a lot better than I was expecting. So this might be a little bit too dark, but we're going to see. I think it's okay. Also putting a little bit down the center of my nose, Cupid's bow. And I like to put a little bit here, because I have divots in my forehead and I like to bring them forward a little bit. Not sure if it's helping, but I am trying. So I'm just going to take my finger and pat that out a little bit. It's not a very pigmented highlighter. I don't think it's that much more glowy than my skin was before. And now that I've waited a little bit, I can safely say that the skin tint, the sheer foundation I was using, is pretty glowy. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? I will need a little bit of powder with this, but I think it's beautiful. For powder, I'm going to use my Dior powder, because this has the nice shade. It's not very brightening, but it's not deepening either, so this will be perfect. See, that does look a lot better. It still looks pretty glowy, but it's not as intense as the other side. I think that's what I love about this powder. It makes you look a little bit more natural, but not very matte or something. Alright, the face makeup is done. I will go into the eyeshadow palette now. This is the Starstruck 9-pan eyeshadow palette. And of course it's covered in tape. Alright, I released it. So this is what the palette looks like. Nice monochromatic pink palette. Matches perfectly with the blush. And I'm not sure what to do here, because these all seem sort of satin. I think I'm just going to start with a nice pink wash all over the lid. I'm taking this pretty big packing brush from Too Faced and I'm going into the middle shade in the top row. Oh, this doesn't have a mirror. Let me put it down. Take the fancy mirror. So I'm picking up quite a bit of product, but it's not very pigmented on my eyes. Of course this shade is not very deep, but right off the bat I'd say this isn't the most pigmented eyeshadow. And it's actually looking quite matte. And now that I'm looking up close, the little shiny layer that was on top is sort of disappearing. So I think there are some matte shades in this palette. Alright, that's a nice base layer. Now I'm going into this shade over here and I'm going to run that beneath the lower lash line. I'm just going to use the same brush, but I'm using the flat side now. And this one is a little bit darker than the one I used before, but not intensely. Now I think I'm going into this shade over here. And I'm going to see if I can add a little bit of dimension in the outer crease. It's a little bit subtle, but it does work. And this isn't the deepest shade in the palette. Oh no, this builds. It's pretty good. I think that last shade had a little bit of micro glitters in there. Alright, that's actually pretty nice. And I have to say there's very little fallout on my face. So that's also a big plus. I'm just cleaning up the brush on my hand a little bit, because this brush can also be used as a blending brush. So I'm just going to take it down the edges a little bit. Right, I think that looks pretty nice. Let's see if I can add a little bit of sparkle. So there are some shades in here that I think are supposed, yeah, these are a little bit more shiny. This one isn't though, but these two are. So I'm going to take the middle shade with my finger and I'm going to put a little bit right in the center of my lid. Yeah, these shades are all pretty sheer. I think if you want to do an all matte look, it's alright. And if you want a very subtle sparkle, it's also alright. But you're not going to get the most intense drama with these shimmers. I'd say they're just pretty typical drugstore eyeshadows. They're not bad. They're not really good either. I'm switching to this tiny smudger brush. And I'm going into the pale shade in the corner. And even though this is a matte, it is the lightest shade in the palette. So I'm going to use this to highlight the inner corner. Alright, that's it for the eyeshadow palette. I must say, I don't hate this at all. I'm going to use this palette maybe even quite a lot, because I do like the look that I created with it. And I think there are more looks to be created with this one. But it's not like insanely good quality or anything. Let me quickly add some mascara. I will use this one, which is in my project pan from YSL, the burgundy one. It'll match the eye look. I think that looks kind of nice with the purple mascara. Oh, crap. I forgot I had the swatch on my hand. No! This is why you always wipe off your finger. I'm just taking a little bit off and I'm taking my concealer brush and I'm going to add a little bit more right here. Problem solved. But that was pretty stupid. Alright, also adding a little bit of brow gel. This is just the Dior Pump and Brow I always use. I think it's running low. It doesn't give me the hold it used to give. But it does still tint a little bit, so. So I'm using my wipe to take off the lip gloss I was wearing. And now we're going into the final product, which is this super cute lavender lipstick. Alright, the tape is removed and ta-da! This is what the lipstick looks like. I think it's a pretty sheer formula. It's the Lolly Lips lipstick in the shade Caramelized. I'm not sure if it'll match the rest of the look, but I really wanted a nudie nude, because I don't own a lot of those. So let's see, it has the little hearts. Let me get it closer. Yeah, it's very sheer. I'd almost argue that it's almost invisible. That's weird, because when I swatched it in the store, it looked pretty brown. I guess it does look a little bit brown on my lips, but not as intensely as I was hoping. But I think this is nice. This will be one of those lipstick I can just throw in my bag and put on without a mirror. So that's it for the finished look. Let me take a look in the mirror to see how everything is holding up. I think it looks pretty good. I must say, It looks a little bit like it's about to break up on the top of my lip. But I have to say, when I'm filming, and especially it's a pretty hot day and I do have this light here, then my upper lip does get a little bit sweaty. So it's maybe not the foundation's fault. Maybe I didn't put enough powder there. But overall, this is quite decent, right? The highlight was not very intense. I wouldn't buy the contour stick for the highlight, but I would buy it for the contour because that's pretty good. I do really like the sheer skin tint or the foundation. I'm really curious to try it out some more, and I will keep you posted in an updates video. I like the eyeshadow. The color is pretty nice and the mattes are pretty nice, but the sparkles are really nothing to write home about. But maybe I could add some glitter and then it'll be fantastic. And this lipstick is a little bit underwhelming, especially for how cute it looks. But it's alright and it feels comfortable and it doesn't have a weird smell, so there's that. Overall, I really like this brand, I think. I'm intrigued enough to try more. So if I'm ever in Germany again, or if they expand into the Netherlands or other places of the world, I will definitely try out more. But for now, this was it. I'm not going back for a little while. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one.